Is my mic on?
Yes. Testicles.
Testicles.
How dare you to fart in it?
I ain't got to no more. I farted on Calvin's hand just a while ago.
On his hand?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Vera. I'm the office manager here at Troy's Muffler. We are located here at 312 Sayre Street, Anderson, South Carolina. Troy actually started doing muffler work in '85. He opened his own business in '95, which is Troy's Muffler. I come along in 2020 to help him with Carnage when he needed help starting selling to the public. Carnage has got TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
I give you a damn fucking you better get your damn helmet to block out them radio frequencies. Woo! I'm fired up. I had to get the ice cream, cool the rain down.
Troy's been building Carnage for probably about 10 years now. I help manage all the packaging and shipping and everywhere it needs to go when it comes to, selling the mufflers, getting ready for car shows, just about anything. Car shows, we do the Rod Run in April every year. We do the Run to the Sun show in Myrtle Beach every year. Next year, we are looking at maybe doing the PRI show. We have a lot of crazy people here. Devin, he's the party animal. He's the one that, you walk in and somebody's screaming, watch out.
Look at him. That's Troy trying to be like me. Scream. I think we all scream when we get hurt, but I do it for fun.
And then we've got Chuck. He's our businessman. He's the one that's, he doesn't really talk to customers a whole lot, but he's very hardworking and gets in and gets the job done. And then we've got a bunch of people that kind of just hang out with us on a daily basis. We've got Brandon that comes in and helps. My husband comes and hangs out with me a lot. Charlie, you'll probably see him. He's crazy.
Like a moron.
I don't know. My husband's a handful. He's the old guy. You'll understand when you see him. He's a nut, just like the rest of them. Pretty much, this is like a second home to me.
Today we got a 2020 Corvette C8 from Rob Sosby.
I've known Troy Carnes at Troy's Mufflers for a little over a decade now.
He's been kind enough to let us use this thing as a kind of a guinea pig to experiment with it. This being the first C8 that we've worked on.
Brought him several cars over the years, several Corvettes even. Started with one of my C5s. We've done Carnage on a C6 Grand Sport. He did Carnage on a C7 Stingray, and today I've brought him a 2020 Corvette C8. First year of the mid-engine Corvettes. We've talked about it over a few months now, so we're gonna try to see if we can get a Carnage on the C8. Gonna do a lot of R&D on it and do a full custom job from front to back.
We're learning a lot. We had to pull the rear bumper off. It's a lot of work to get it tore down just to even get to the exhaust on it.
Oh, hang on a minute. we gotta start over. All right, we're doing a complete Carnage exhaust system on this car. Full stainless system on it. It's a pretty intensive job to take everything apart and actually get to the nitty gritty and start doing designing on this thing. We design everything here in-house in this shop. Made in America. From start to finish, we're gonna take and build this system on the car, and we're actually doing a one-off design that we ain't never done before. I ain't never seen one done. I've seen different muffler companies with X pipes built into a muffler, but I ain't never seen an oversized X pipe that's been turned into a muffler. We're doing all this in-house. We're kind of doing it on the fly. That's what you do when you do custom fabrication work, It's kind of trial and error. You get things where it looks good and where it fits good. You will be able to see this when it's on the car and the bumper cover's back on. You'll be able to see all this. We want it to jump out at you. Whenever you see it, it's like, damn, what is that? That's what we're kind of going after. Of course, we want that badass American muscle sound on this car. Being a mid-engine car, it's very challenging. It's a lot more challenging than your traditional exhaust, but that's where we excel at, is hard, complicated jobs. We're gonna work on it a little bit today, some tomorrow. These jobs can take anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks. Sometimes you can fly right through these things, get them knocked out in 2 or 3 days, and sometimes you might get halfway through a job and decide you want to take another route, and you tear everything off and start over.
So I got a good memory of Joey. Devin decided to bake some brownies one day.
Oh no.
And told Joey that he had a quarter of it and didn't do nothing to him. So Joey said, well, here, give me the whole damn brownie, and ate the whole thing.
He was feeling bad that day.
Yeah, he was feeling down.
bad.
About 2 hours later, he's like, I still don't feel nothing.
Yeah,
But he
that
looked like a little Chinese boy.
Yeah.
She guy, and the guy that was holding on to stuff, trying to walk around the shop. You know, it's a pretty funny moment.
Yeah,
That was a great day right there.
skint back.
Yeah.
He saved in my phone his chicken nugget head. Because the head looks like a chicken nugget.
I loved him to death, but there was a couple of things that would just...
He just piled cars on top of the trailer, too.
HGTV every day.
Oh,
Days of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think he had some estrogen.
Come on over here, Chuck. And making all them crazy faces behind the camera. So this thing here, you know, like our Carnage helmet, we're having a stainless steel plate being laser cut out, and it's gonna be welded right here, you know, because this is gonna be the center point, the focus of this whole exhaust system. You'll be able to see this from outside the car. We're gonna put that there. Now, as far as being laser etched, it ain't gonna be etched. This piece is. Now, the black quad tips that we're going with, it'll have Carnage, like say that this is the tips, it'll have Carnage across the top of those, and you'll be able to see them from the back of the car. We're running a 3-inch system on this car. The X-pipe is a 3.5. So it's an oversized X-pipe, and how we're gonna turn this into a muffler is the Carnage style baffles that we use, we're gonna insert them in the top and in the bottom of these things, and they are directional. It's gonna be designed just like Carnage mufflers are, just with a little twist. You know, it's just oversized X-pipe that's getting turned into a muffler, and hope it sounds badass. Yeah, we've been doing some measurements. I've already got your tips set back here. We've been doing some measurements on like the factory tips on how far they stick out. They may stick out a touch further. We're thinking that we're gonna stick them out maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch further. But I think it's gonna look good with those aftermarket tips on there. We've been doing some measurements and all, figuring out where everything's gonna land.
Y'all need to get some tips with Carnage engraved over the top.
They'll be engraved on them. Yeah. Yeah, we already been talking about that.
I know I'm not saying anything you haven't already talked about.
Yeah, well, not engraved. They'll be laser etched or whatever. But we're gonna do that. The Carnage helmet that's gonna go here.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you looking at the back of it, you can see this whole X pipe and all. We're gonna put just a helmet right there. So, like whenever you know, it's gonna be behind that black mesh.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's there and you can see it, but it's kind of gonna be, you know, it'll be behind all that. And once you get looking, it's like, oh shit, look at that right there, you know. So
the plan for this once we get this done?
What's that?
We're gonna satin wrap it purple.
That's my favorite color.
It's not good.
That's my favorite color.
So we're gonna take the stripes off of it, and then once we have that on there, the high wings going on it, and then satin purple. So
that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. All right, so this here is the X-pipe / muffler. It's got the Carnage baffles in it, just like our Carnage mufflers do. This whole system was kind of complex and hard to do. You know, the pipe fitment was the hardest issue, which it always is, trying to get everything to have a really nice tight fit for TIG welding. Really, I think welding this little thin ass thing on there was the hardest. You know, that made me want to pull my damn hair out trying to get that thing on there. But it's done. We're gonna stick it on the car, see how it sounds. We gotta take and build a jig for it. So basically a jig is something that you can build this system on without having the car here. We'll take this system and build a jig to this system, and then we'll take this system and throw it on the car, and he can take off and go do whatever he wants to with it. But we'll have a jig sitting here that we can stick these style tips in, use those style flanges that'll bolt on to a factory car. It'll be, you can build this in that jig, and it can be put in a box and shipped to wherever you want it to. You want me to?
Are they, you're serious? They're in it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in it. They ready. We've been waiting on you. Look at this nice wing. So.
Why don't you crank it so he can steer it?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. I'll crank it up. I'll crank this damn thing up, boy.
Yeah, just don't hit it with revs just yet. It's been sitting for a couple of weeks.
He said rev it. He said rev it really high to begin with.
All right, the moment of truth, Rob. You ready to see this?
Oh. Oh, the key's in sleep mode. Keys in. What you think about that?
That's great, man. I couldn't ask for any better. That's
We'll let
awesome.
it calm down a minute and then hit it a few
So
times.
When it cold starts on this engine, it opens the entire thing up. So cold starts on these are wild. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's calming down now. That's what we call mo better. Mo better.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, cold starts on these hit you right in the diaphragm. So
We need Chuck over here. Chuck was the one he's the master of mine. He's the master. Chuck's the one that did it. We're finally done with this thing. Rob's pretty happy with it.
oh man, I'm so ecstatic with it. The cold starts on these are great. Once it kind of settles in, we'll get it under load here in just a second after it warms up. Been sitting for a few days as they worked on it, so let it warm up for a little bit and we'll hit the road with it. So, but could not be happier.
Very, very fun project. Looks a lot better, sounds a lot better. Got that badass Carnage sound.
That's awesome. Calm down. When you drive it a certain way, it's like, oh, you're in track. You're on a track right now, right? So you need to aggressively shift everything.
Let's roll these windows up and see how the drone is.
So I'm trying to see if I can force it into. Regular driving is great.
No drone so far?
Yeah. The main thing is when it goes into AFM mode.
Is that where it pulls back 4 cylinders?
Yeah.
They still put that junk on cars, don't they?
Yeah. Used to be able to like cut it off pretty easily.
You gotta get overdrive and kind of be there for a few minutes, don't you?
With this, if you keep it in certain drive modes, it won't go into it. But if you're in like touring mode or something like that, then it goes into it pretty frequently. But if you stay in track mode or what they they call V mode, which is like the customized mode where you can set it to be more aggressive and things like that. Then it won't go into it too much. But let's see if we can force it.
Yeah, because that's going to be the tail right there. That's when it's going to sound
So let's see
the
if
worst. You just said.
Let's see if we can force it into it.
Your wife is. It's going to be going to here.
We have been lucky to not have gotten any tickets. There it is. There's V4 right there. There's V4 in sixth gear. I think that is just fine.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
See, once you apply accelerator again, then it cuts it right back off. So yeah, that is just fine.
So we've put a badass system on it. We've got a badass sound. And virtually no drone.
Yep.
You know, like I don't hear any kind of resonation.
I had to look down to realize it was in V4 mode. To realize that it had gone into AFM. I had to look down to see the notification on it.
I feel like that's a win-win. That's
Absolutely.
what I call that. And those tips look so much better than them factory.
I've never been a fan of the square factory tips on these cars, but you know, I think y'all knocked it out of the park with this one, man. I could not be happier with this.
That's awesome. I was more than excited to do one of these cars. You know, we ain't never done one of these. I was ready to hop on this thing. It's cool. It was a project, that's for sure.
Take it good?
Huh? I can't replace it.
Appreciate you, bud.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man.